It was discovered at that time Terry Bollea, also known as Hulk Hogan, was experiencing a serious medical-related issue.
The world stood still when news broke that wrestling legend Hulk Hogan had been found dead inside his Florida mansion. For millions of fans, it felt impossible. Hulk Hogan was more than a wrestler. He was an icon of strength, energy, and larger-than-life charisma. For decades, people had watched him slam giants in the ring, dominate television screens, and become one of the most recognizable faces in entertainment history. To many fans, he seemed untouchable, almost immortal. But on that quiet morning, everything changed. At first, the story appeared straightforward. Emergency responders received a distress call reporting that Hogan had suffered a massive medical emergency inside his Clearwater mansion. Paramedics rushed to the property and attempted life-saving procedures for nearly 40 minutes. Despite every effort, doctors later pronounced him dead at the hospital. Early reports pointed toward cardiac arrest, likely connected to years of health struggles and the physical damage caused by decades inside the wrestling ring. But almost immediately, strange details began to surface. Investigators arriving at the mansion reportedly noticed several things that felt deeply unusual. The atmosphere inside the home did not resemble the chaotic aftermath of a sudden medical emergency. Instead, parts of the property appeared almost staged, unnaturally organized, and strangely silent. Those early observations were enough to push local authorities into requesting additional assistance. Soon, federal investigators became quietly involved. What the FBI allegedly discovered inside Hogan's mansion would fuel weeks of speculation, mystery, and unanswered questions. The first major detail that drew attention was Hogan's private gym. Friends had long described the room as the center of his daily life. Even in his later years, Hogan remained obsessed with fitness. Despite surgeries, chronic pain, and physical exhaustion, he reportedly trained almost every day. Photos shared online often showed him lifting weights, stretching, or walking through recovery routines designed to keep his body functioning. Yet when investigators entered the gym after his death, something seemed off. The room appeared almost too perfect. Dumbbells were arranged in exact order. Equipment looked polished. Floors appeared freshly cleaned. There were no towels, no water bottles, and no signs of recent activity. According to reports, investigators expected to find evidence that Hogan had been exercising shortly before his collapse. Instead, the gym looked untouched. To some investigators, it felt less like a working gym and more like a showroom. That observation alone might not have meant much. But then authorities reportedly uncovered another disturbing detail involving the mansion's security system. Hogan's estate was protected by an advanced surveillance network. Cameras covered entrances, hallways, outdoor areas, and parts of the interior. Motion sensors and digital locks were installed throughout the property. Friends said Hogan had become increasingly protective of his privacy in recent years and rarely trusted strangers around his home. But investigators allegedly discovered that the entire security system had been manually disabled from inside the mansion. There was no sign of forced entry, no evidence of hacking, no damaged wiring. Someone with direct access had apparently shut the system down intentionally. Even more concerning, several hours of security footage were missing entirely. That discovery changed the tone of the investigation. Federal agents reportedly began examining the mansion's digital systems, hoping smart home records could reveal who had been inside the property before Hogan's death. Thermostats, lighting systems, alarm logs, and voice control devices were all reviewed in an attempt to build a timeline. But the deeper investigators looked, the stranger the situation became. According to sources close to the investigation, digital records showed unusual activity late at night only days before Hogan's death. Lights reportedly turned on in areas of the mansion that Hogan rarely used. Certain doors were opened briefly and then closed again. Yet no camera footage existed to explain who moved through the property during those hours. Then came the detail that truly shocked investigators. During a second search of the mansion, agents allegedly discovered a concealed room hidden behind part of the basement wall. At first glance, the basement appeared ordinary. Storage shelves, workout equipment, and old memorabilia filled the area. But forensic teams noticed inconsistencies in the structure. One section of the wall sounded hollow. After closer inspection, Investigators reportedly uncovered a hidden entrance leading into a small private room that was not included in property blueprints. Inside, agents found boxes of documents, locked cabinets, and several electronic storage devices. The room was carefully organized. Files were labeled by year and category. Some appeared connected to Hogan's finances. Others reportedly contained private medical information, legal correspondence, and handwritten notes. Several folders allegedly included documents dated only days before his death. That immediately raised questions. Why would Hogan maintain a hidden room inside his own home? Why keep sensitive material concealed rather than stored in a safe or office? And why had nobody publicly known the room existed? Rumors exploded across social media. Some people believed Hogan had been protecting personal secrets. Others suggested the files may have related to business disputes, private settlements, or confidential agreements from his wrestling career. A few theories became even darker, claiming the room contained information someone desperately wanted hidden. Federal authorities never officially confirmed the exact contents of the room, but reports that electronic drives were removed for forensic analysis only intensified public curiosity. As investigators worked through the evidence, attention shifted toward Hogan's final days. People close to him reportedly described a noticeable change in his behavior shortly before his death. Though Hogan had publicly appeared healthy and energetic, insiders claimed he had become increasingly tense in private. He spent more time alone, took fewer phone calls, and seemed distracted during conversations. Then investigators learned about a mysterious late-night phone call Hogan allegedly received 3 days before he died. According to sources familiar with the situation, the call deeply unsettled him. Witnesses later claimed Hogan looked visibly shaken afterward. Those around him said they had rarely seen him appear frightened, but whatever was said during that conversation reportedly changed his mood immediately. Federal cyber specialists allegedly attempted to trace the origin of the call. What they discovered made the situation even more suspicious. The number had supposedly been routed through multiple international servers, masking its true source. Investigators reportedly encountered layers of encrypted routing designed specifically to prevent tracing. Such methods are sometimes associated with individuals attempting to hide their identity completely. The contents of the conversation were never publicly released, but investigators allegedly believed the call was important enough to become a major focus of the case. Some theories suggested Hogan may have been threatened. Others believed he had been pressured regarding private information connected to the documents hidden inside the mansion. A few speculated that someone from his past had resurfaced unexpectedly. No theory was ever proven. Still, the timing of the call remained difficult to ignore. As federal investigators continued reviewing Hogan's personal life, they reportedly discovered a complicated network of strained relationships and unresolved tensions. Behind the image of the smiling wrestling superstar was a man who had endured years of emotional turmoil. Hogan's personal struggles had often played out publicly. His divorce from longtime wife Linda became one of the most talked about celebrity breakups of its time. Financial disputes, accusations of betrayal, and family conflict followed for years. Although Hogan later rebuilt parts of his life, those close to him reportedly believed some wounds never fully healed. Investigators also examined tensions within the family itself. Reports claimed Hogan's relationship with his daughter Brooke had become distant in recent years. Their communication had reportedly grown limited, especially after multiple public controversies damaged the family's image. Meanwhile, Hogan remained closer to his son Nick, who allegedly became heavily involved in helping manage parts of his father's personal affairs. When details of Hogan's estate later surfaced, public attention intensified again. According to reports, Hogan's will allegedly left the majority of his estate to Nick, while Brooke was largely excluded. That revelation shocked many fans and fueled speculation about ongoing family divisions behind closed doors. For investigators, inheritance issues could not simply be ignored. In high-profile deaths, financial conflicts are often examined carefully, even when no direct evidence of wrongdoing exists. At the same time, Hogan's medical condition remained a major part of the investigation. Years of wrestling had devastated his body. He had undergone numerous surgeries involving his back, hips, knees, shoulders, and spine. Friends often described him as living in constant pain despite his public optimism. Only months before his death, Hogan reportedly underwent a major spinal procedure involving multiple vertebrae in his neck. Recovery from the surgery had been difficult. While Hogan publicly insisted he was improving, rumors circulated online claiming his health was far worse than fans realized. Some medical experts later speculated that complications from the operation may have contributed to his death. Certain theories suggested damage involving nerves connected to breathing and heart function. Others believed the years of physical punishment had simply become too much for his body to survive. Still, investigators reportedly struggled to fully connect the medical explanation with the strange findings inside the mansion. Why disable the security system? Why hide sensitive documents? Why did Hogan appear frightened after the mysterious phone call? And why did parts of the home seem carefully cleaned before emergency responders arrived? Those questions kept the case surrounded by mystery. As weeks passed, online speculation only grew stronger. Fans debated whether Hogan's death had truly been natural or whether deeper secrets remained hidden behind the official explanation. Videos, podcasts, and online forums dissected every reported detail connected to the investigation. Some theories became wildly exaggerated, claiming organized conspiracies or secret blackmail operations. Others focused on the possibility that Hogan himself had become increasingly paranoid in his final years and created the hidden room simply to protect private information from the public. Without official confirmation, the truth remained unclear. Yet one fact became impossible to deny. Hogan's death had evolved into something far larger than the passing of a wrestling legend. It had become a mystery. Even people who had never watched wrestling found themselves drawn into the strange details surrounding the mansion, the hidden room, and the unexplained digital evidence. Every new rumor added another layer to the story. Despite all the speculation, one reality remained undeniable. Hulk Hogan's influence on popular culture was enormous. During the 1980s and 1990s, he transformed professional wrestling into a worldwide entertainment empire. His matches filled arenas. His image appeared on lunchboxes, posters, action figures, and television screens across the globe. He inspired generations of wrestlers who followed him. Without Hogan, the rise of mainstream wrestling entertainment may never have happened in the same way. Stars who later dominated the industry walked through doors Hogan helped open. His charisma, confidence, and ability to command attention changed sports entertainment forever. Even after controversies damaged parts of his reputation, millions of fans still remembered the excitement he brought into their lives. That emotional connection is part of why the mystery surrounding his death captured such intense public attention. People did not want to believe the story ended quietly. They searched for hidden meanings inside every detail, because Hogan himself had always felt larger than ordinary life. A simple explanation seemed almost impossible for someone whose career had been built on spectacle and drama. To this day, many questions reportedly remain unanswered. Federal investigators never publicly revealed everything discovered inside the mansion. The alleged hidden room remains one of the most controversial aspects of the story. The mysterious phone call was never fully explained, and conflicting reports surrounding Hogan's health continue fueling debate online. Perhaps the truth is far simpler than the rumors suggest. Maybe Hogan's body finally gave out after decades of punishment, surgeries, and physical stress. Maybe the strange details inside the mansion were coincidences magnified by public fascination. Maybe the hidden room contained nothing more than private documents Hogan wanted protected from the media. Or maybe there really were secrets buried inside that mansion. Whatever the truth may be, the story of what investigators allegedly found after Hulk Hogan's death continues to fascinate fans around the world. It transformed a tragic loss into a mystery filled with unanswered questions, hidden spaces, and lingering shadows. And in many ways, that mystery reflects the man himself. Because even after death, Hulk Hogan remained larger than life.